Welcome to Twin Peaks Radio, the show where we remember, in the words of Major Garland Briggs, a real mystery can't be solved, not completely. It's always just out of reach like a light around the corner. You might catch a glimpse of what it reveals, feel its warmth, but you can't know the heart of it. Not really. That's what gives it value. It can't be cracked. It's bigger than you and me, bigger than everything we know. I'm Professor Robert E.G. Black. I actually don't have a lot to tell you today. Finished watching season 3, so I'm finally going to get around to talking about the show, going through from the beginning. Here, next episode I assume. In the meantime, I just wanted to point out that, in the meantime, I have created a TikTok, Twin Peaks Radio, to go along with this show as well. So far, it has been mostly just sort of things to think about, questions to think about, a lot of it dealing with season 3. So I won't really talk about these things in a lot of detail until later. But here are the TikToks so far. Twin Peaks thought for today. What if the reason Carrie Page can only remember a little tiny bit of being Laura Palmer is because she's a tulpa made not from hair, but from that last missing page of Laura's diary. Today I wonder, why does Gordon Cole tell Tammy and Albert about Jowday at all? We interpret what Judy means to the plot, but at this point in the story, why does Judy mean anything to the investigation? They just shot Diane. How does that connect? I think that's more important than figuring out who Judy is. Now, if you know what that is, you know what that is. You've read The Secret History. Paying attention. We are south of Devil's Gate Dam. And there's the Devil's Head Tunnel. Both mentioned in the book. Tried to get out here a few months ago, or a couple months ago, and there was a construction thing in the way. Couldn't get back here. And it takes a bit of effort to get down here, too. Some ladders, some stairs. But it's kind of cool. Put a few things together. Ronette shows up as the American Girl in season 3. We have also the experiment, which coincides with the first nuclear blast. The American experiment is something they often call our form of democracy. So you put these two things together along with the fact that Judy shares her name with Judy Garland, who, being a famous actress and child actress, was also regularly plied, allegedly, with drugs to keep her on point for the job she had to do. Maybe the whole point of David Lynch, like Blue Velvet with Twin Peaks, is that the American experiment is failing. The American experiment, it creates things like Bob. It creates things like Philip Gerard, who has to cut away a piece of himself in order not to evil anymore, but still feeds on the garmonbozia. Still feeds on the pain and suffering of others. We have this 50s nostalgia veneer with all of this drug dealing and murder and sex going on underneath. And you get to season 3 and it blows up into chaos of pay cable versions of violence and sex, and it's dirtier and grungier and broken. Because the American experiment is failing. Not to get too political or anything. The question today then is, when were Leland and Philip Gerard killing people? Mike says they lived above a convenience store. The term convenience store, while it did exist in the 40s and 50s and onward, wasn't really popular until the 1980s. We see the convenience store in Season 3, and it literally says on the front of it, convenience store. But that's really unlikely for something that we see, presumably, in 1945 after the nuclear blast in Part 8. So, is it sort of a retroactive thing, a little on-the-nose set decoration that we shouldn't like? Or was there a store called a convenience store and maybe the Black Lodge invented the term? And Leland and Philip Gerard were killing people as early as the 40s. Actually, that's really unlikely since Leland was born in 1944.
Is the Twin Peaks Season 3 up? Really? Nostalgia? Or is it built on nostalgia? Or both?
Now, if you're listening to this, the audio version, and you didn't know what that last one said, because there weren't subtitles, I asked if Twin Peaks Season 3 is a critique of nostalgia or built on nostalgia, or both. And that will be a big conversation for when I get to Season 3. Next time, I'm guessing, I'm just going to talk about the opening titles. Why do we start with a bird and a sawmill and all that? Till then, remember, in the words of Major Garland Briggs, mystery is the most essential ingredient of life. Mystery creates wonder, which leads to curiosity, which in turn provides the ground for our desire to understand who and what we truly are. This has been a production of Lemming Drops Studio. You can find links to more at lemmingdrops.com. Follow the show on Twitter at Peaks Radio, on Facebook and Instagram at Twin Peaks Radio, or join the Facebook group Lemming Drops Studio Tour. Also, you can support all my shows at patreon.com/lemmingdrops. The owls may not be what they seem, but they still serve an imperative function. They remind us to look into the darkness.